it's very, very, very hard. The indoctrination is so strong. People seem to be awake, and people, if you ask them if they're awake, they're like, yeah, I'm awake. I'm not asleep. I'm not in a trance. But the indoctrination is so fucking strong. I got friends that are all wrapped up in CNN. They they still...
How do you watch CNN after 2.5 years of just Russian collusion that led to nothing?
Well, CNN for sure is fake news, and Anderson Cooper is CIA. He admits it. You could look that up. He was in the CIA. Once you're in the CIA, you're always in the CIA, and the CIA had an operation called Operation Mockingbird. You could look that up, and that operation was about infiltrating media, journalism, newspapers, and making sure that they did that, and before the Russians can do it, before communism can spread. So that's mainstream. Operation Mockingbird. So the question is, oh shit, what exactly did they take over? It's pretty fucking obvious. Anderson Cooper is the face of CNN. CNN is obviously part of Operation Mockingbird. For sure, CBS and NBC and all that shit is too. For sure. But 100% CNN, we know that shit for sure. The face is CIA. And, every day, some bullshit about Trump. Every day, all they do is lie about Trump. So CNN is fake, right? And what else that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Another fact is,
hold on, real quick. MSNBC just had a guy on, still talking about Russian collusion. Right?
Yeah.
I tweet this. MSNBC is like that Japanese soldier who got lost on a desert island and was fighting World War II for another 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody told, dude, if nobody's listening to your program, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? You can do whatever the fuck you want. Nobody's listening. So you can still run this horse. Because when you sell your soul, the people who buy your soul can do whatever they want with it. And if that includes running it into the ground, because that's what they want. And the fact that, and the guy pushing this Russian collusion still just got busted. He was a journalist for, I forget what magazine, newspaper. I think it was the New York Times. I could be wrong, but he got busted allegedly, allowing the CNN to, the CIA to edit his stories. He would send to them first. They would edit it, send it back, and he would send it in.
Yeah. So we know CNN for sure CIA. But then all the other 90% of the other media outlets are saying the exact same thing CNN is saying. Same thing. So you can't trust them either. MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them. So we know CNN for sure. And then you look at the people. We know Joe Biden. 100% he's a criminal. 100%. He's on video bragging about it. He's on video talking about his hairy legs and how he likes kids. You know what I mean? And then all that shit where he's being super inappropriate with children. So we know Joe Biden for sure scumbag. We know that shit. We know that for sure. So we know CNN, Operation Mockingbird, and then if CNN is MSNBC and all the other ones are saying the exact same thing. So all of them. The only one that isn't saying that shit is Fox. So Fox is the only one. And then you have RT and all that. But with Fox, that's, people say, well, Fox is fucking fake as shit. And Fox will cover, will spin anything in a positive way when it comes to anything Republican. So if Darth Vader came down and became the Republican president, Fox would say great shit about Darth Vader.
Right.
So it really doesn't matter. So it's Fox is that's kind of weird. Fox is actually
at this moment.
Yeah, but I think it's just because they're lucky that they got the truth. Because if they would have got bullshit, they would have been spinning that shit too.
Well, they did. During weapons of mass destruction and all that shit, they led the charge on that.
For sure. But Trump isn't. He used to be a Democrat, and he wasn't a true Republican. He's probably somewhere in the middle. He's probably more independent or libertarian than anything. He even said a long time ago, if I ever run for president, I'll run as a Republican because it's easy to fool those guys. Or so, he said something like that. Back then he was joking or whatever. But with Fox, I think that they don't have to spin shit so much because they're getting the truth.
Yeah,
you know,
because the scope's on Hillary and all them right now, and but I mean, like. They were pro George Bush back in the day when everyone's like, fuck George Bush.
So it's not really a Republican Democrat thing. It is about good and evil.
Is George Bush the most hated president? Like, if you think about it, like
which one?
The second one. The first one should be, but the second one is. I just feel like no sides like him.
Well, I think George W. was probably the least involved. And actually, the president.
Junior.
Yeah, Junior. He was the least involved in like presidential duties. You know what I mean? I think he was just.
He was
Joe had a bit about him. I think with George W. Bush, it was like, they had like an Illuminati conference meeting, and they go, I think we can go dumber. They were just trying to see how dumb they could go with the president. And that's what George W. Bush is. Because then there was someone in the back that said, I think we can go dumber.
I think they just put him in there because